Hello and welcome to our 10th episode from our English podcast, hsvinternational International, which is our first milestone, I would say, 10th episode. Just like always, it's me, Lennart, and with me, Philipp. Hi, Philipp.
Hi, Lennart. Congratulations to this milestone.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to you as well. I mean, it's our podcast. It's very nice that we already have our 10th episode, I think.
I think so too. But there is still a lot of room for improvement.
Absolutely. And we hope to hear a lot of feedback in the upcoming weeks and months as well. We're grateful for every message we receive from every one of you. So please continue to support us like you did in the last 10 weeks. Philipp, should we start with our episode?
Of course. Looking forward.
Perfect. Before we head into the topics, let's just say something because last week we announced a possible guest for today, which sadly didn't make it to today. So sorry for that. We're just the two of us today, but hopefully during the next 2 weeks we have one guest per episode. We're looking forward to that, and hopefully both of them can make it. That's everything beforehand. So let's start. Philipp, how was your weekend? How could you follow the match?
Yes, Lennart, of course, I could follow the match. However, not from the stands, but in front of television. I spent the Easter days with family, but also with very good friends with whom I was in Italy for half a year. And we met again. One person came from Switzerland. So it was a very nice weekend. And we together watched the game on Saturday. Our game, and we were in the stadium on Sunday. The guys decided to watch another game, so we spent the day at Felddienst Arena of Schalke, watching Schalke against Kaiserslautern. The Karlsruhe fans would boo me out. It was Schalke against Karlsruhe.
Difficult mistake here, yeah.
Yeah, big mistake. Both of them are huge enemies. Yes, Schalke against Karlsruhe. But our topic also today, like always, will be HSV. So yes, I spent the day on Saturday in front of television watching the game and saw two kind of different halves, I would say. But Lennart, I'm excited about your perspective on the game. You were in the stadium. How was the matchday experience? How did you travel to Hamburg? When did you travel back? Did everything work out? And yeah.
Yeah, I traveled, like usual, I think, per train, which is already known, I think, right now by our listeners that both of us travel almost every week by train to the stadium. Did it work out? On the way to Hamburg, there was small problems, but in the end, we were, because of that, just 1 hour delayed. And it worked out afterwards. After the game, everything was perfect. I think we were punctual on the minute. Nothing to complain here.
But how did you spend the day? Maybe also interesting for our listeners, because that's something we usually don't cover in our episodes. But what did you do, or what do we usually do when we arrive in Hamburg? It's a bit prior to the game, so sometimes there's a bit of time in between and we can spend a couple of hours in Hamburg. So what did you do on Saturday? Did you went directly from the station to the stadium, or did you do something else?
We met some friends in a bar directly at the central station, but from there we went directly to the stadium. Just got 1-2 beer before entering the stadium, the stands, and directly went to our places because it's quite crowded inside the at least the standing areas in Hamburg very early. So it was very good that we went there early, which is quite sad because there's a Volksparkett in Hamburg before every home game. At least one player every week is there, gives an interview, and this is a highlight every week. Few weeks ago, even Horst Rubisch was there. So really a highlight.
A huge legend from our club.
Definitely something can recommend. if someone visits the Volksparkstadion. This week, Nicola Remberg was there, but I had to be early at my place. I missed him. I was a little bit sad about that.
I can imagine, maybe just to add a little bit, you can imagine the Volksparkett like a small stage in front of a small crowd, just beyond one sector in the stadium where supporters can gather, grab some drinks, and just follow small stage program, which usually, like Lennart said, consists of a player interview or also a guest, meaning a guest from the away club. And I think when we played Bayern München like 10 years ago in the Bundesliga, Uli Hoeneß was there too at the Volksparkett. So also very prestigious and very famous guests. Very interesting persons every time. And it's a bit sad that we can't make it every time there because, like you said, Lennart, we have to be on our places very, very early on to secure them. So you did not went to Volksparkett. You were on the stands and you saw the lineup for our match against Augsburg. And I think that was the first surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, really?
Did you expect Robert Glatzel to play?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned Robert Glatzel. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this was a huge surprise. That's true. I was thinking about our discussion on the center midfield. I thought about that when you asked me right now what's the surprise. But yeah, obviously, Glatzel was a huge surprise, probably for him as well, when he got the news from our coach. And apart from that, he had also surprised me that Kapal didn't make it to the squad. Sadly, he wasn't fit enough. He wasn't even in the complete matchday squad. He wasn't there at all. Yeah, but
I think the rest was somehow expected. What do you think about the performances in the first half? What happened in the first half, maybe quickly, and what do you think?
Yeah, I think the first half wasn't a good game from either side. The Augsburg scored the first goal, got in front. But for me, it was a game at halftime. I thought maybe 0-0 or 1-1, but I didn't saw a game where I thought, this team has to be in lead right now. What do you think?
I think Augsburg was a bit more active team. I was missing a couple of things in the first half. I think, for example, Otele wasn't really good, losing many balls. And I also thought that Muheim wasn't that strong, lost many duels. And yeah, I think it just wasn't our best half. And I was expecting a bit more in the first half, especially after the goal. How was the goal happening, Lennart?
Yeah, I'm not sure how should I describe it. It was like in Germany, we would say
ein Gestocher.
Yeah, ein Gestocher oder ein krummes Ding. So the cross comes in, they get the ball in front of in the 5-meter area in front of the goalkeeper, and an Augsburg player gets a leg in and just gets it over his line. Not a beautiful goal, but it's still a goal, and it counts just as much as a 30-meter free kick direct in the upright corner. Probably no one will remember the goal at least at the end of the season, but in the end, it counts.
Yes, was very unfortunate for us. But then we went into the locker room with 1-0 behind. And then, however, turns out we played a very good second half, in my opinion. Especially our attacks were way better. I think Robert Glatzel was better incorporated in the game. He could collect and distribute the balls better than the first half. And then I think we scored a very, very beautiful goal.
Absolutely, yeah. And not only the finish, but how we played the entire attack was good. The ball went for Vuskovic, and then Nico Rossis, Muheim, Glatzel, and Königsdörfer.
Yes.
Great combination. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just saw one snippet from the game published by Sky Sports, and they mentioned this goal like is tiki-taka, which is known for the Barcelona squad back under Pep Guardiola when they played a fantastic way of football. Yeah, it was amazing. Like you said, a great combination and a great finish from Ransford Königsdörfer, but a great assist from Robert Glatzel too. You know, he was with the back to the goal, just dropping the ball from Muheim to Königsdörfer, and then Königsdörfer had a clear way toward the goal, a strong finish from approximately 18 meters. So very, very good goal. And I think it was his 5th goal of the season, plus 1 scored in the DFB Cup. Right, Lennart?
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah. He has a complete attack right out of the textbook, I think.
But then, unfortunately, when just after scoring the goal, something very unlucky happened.
Yeah, very stupid mistake by Miro Muheim. He didn't got the ball, had a very good first contact, then he wanted to play the ball back to the goalkeeper. I think it didn't work out as well. And then, he had a contact with the Augsburg attacker. I am not sure which one was it, but before him, he was the last man, and he got a red card, which was definitely a red card.
Of course.
Yeah, no, the best faced during that game. We were really good into the game in this moment, and after that we had, I think 5 to 10 minutes, which were really difficult. And I remember that a friend of mine and me, we told each other, if this goes like that for the next 20 minutes, we don't make it with that point. Yeah, I think after 10 minutes, we got control of the game back, or what do you think?
I think so too, and I think after these 10 minutes, we somehow recovered from the red card and were able to put a lot of pressure on Augsburg's defense and had good shots. And I remember one shot from Albert Grönberg, who made his debut for our club. Amazing shot from around 35 meters. Would have been a dream debut for
Absolutely.
him. Very well saved.
And just 1 minute after the almost own goal of the season, right?
Yeah, was it just 1 minute afterwards? It was insane.
I think it was directly after, because I remember that I went crazy in the crowd. First, because the own goal wasn't scored. And I thought this can't be happening, that we don't have this kind of luck at our side for once. I had to remember the stupid own goal by Heuer Fernandes against St. Pauli. And I thought, of course, we concede such a goal, but we don't get one. And just 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute afterwards, I think Grönberg with this amazing shot.
And this almost own goal, let's frame it like this, that you mentioned, it was a high return from the defender back to the keeper from Augsburg. And then
it was a horrible pass.
Yeah, horrible, of course. Yeah, but the keeper had to, without using his arms, because that's forbidden when you receive a pass from your defender, trying to get the ball over the goal and not in the goal, because it was a very high return. He really managed to put it on the crossbar. And then it went, I think, it was in the corner for us then in the end, right?
No, he managed to keep it in bounds.
Really? Okay. Yeah, then
I'm very sure, but
it was a 99% own goal. A very, very good save from the goalkeeper. Yeah, you need to have a look at it. Just watch it on YouTube. Pretty sure that there will be highlights all over the world. And if not, then wait for HSV to publish their own highlights. I think they are visible all around the globe. Very, very intensive minutes. Especially also the shot from Grönberg. How was your impression of Grönberg in the game? What do you think? How was his impact? Is he a good signing, maybe? Could you say it after this 20 minutes?
I mean, it's hard to say after 20 minutes if he is a good signing or not. But these 20 minutes were really, really good. And it's made me think, what could have been if he wouldn't have been injured from the beginning and just could play for us now. But hopefully he can manage to stay fit for first of all, and then build up on this performance. And I mean, we have 6 games right now. He's just on loan until the summer. Maybe we can get him for another year alone, because signing him after just, if it comes maximum 6.5 games now, would be probably much.
Yeah, I think it would be a bit too risky too. I think the price tag is also quite high. So yeah, I would really double check to maybe extend the loan option. That would be a good idea, Lennart. I like it. Let's see. I think one more scene to mention from the game is the bizarre scene with the referee and Gregoritsch, a former HSV player, now player for Augsburg. It was 1 minute before halftime, and the situation was as follows. Augsburg was in attack at the edge of our box, and Fabio Vieira tried to get the ball from Michael Gregoritsch, the Augsburg striker. And in this situation, Michael Gregoritsch somehow slipped a bit away and was kicking or at least somehow scratching Fabio Vieira's leg. And it was painful for Vieira as Gregoritsch kind of stayed on his leg and on his ankle. So Fabio Vieira broke away, was signaling like always that he needs some medical treatment. I mean, Fabio Vieira is very quick with signaling this and is rolling on the ground like always. But in this situation, the ref decided of a defensive foul from Vieira to Michael Gregoritsch. And this was definitely wrong. And you could see it directly in television. And I was texting you, I think, Lennart, you and Marcus, our friend that you were able to hear in our last episode. I mean, I know how it's on the stands, you can't see the situation. You don't know what happened there. You may have the possibility to turn around and to have a look at the replay, if there is a replay possible on the screens, because where we stand, you could, if you turn around, see the first 2 screens of the VIP boxes in the stadium. So, Lennart, did you turn around? Have you been able to see that it was not a foul? And what happened then? How did you perceive it in the stadium?
No, I didn't saw that it was not a foul. To be honest, most of us thought that it was a foul from us and that the free kick would have been correct. And we were very surprised that he wasn't given it. And I mean, the only real conclusion we've got and we could think of was that, Gregoritsch told Dennis Aitekin that he wasn't fouled, which was the truth in the end, but we didn't saw it, to be honest. We all thought that there is a free kick right now, just 1 minute before the halftime, and a huge chance for Augsburg to score a goal.
I was so angry, Lennart. You can imagine if you see it in front of television.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it's a completely different story. Yeah.
And I thought once he blew the whistle and indicated the free kick for Augsburg, I thought, oh my God, what a misconception of this situation and how dangerous for us, especially this short before halftime. Imagine to receive the second goal, to go in halftime with 2 goals in behind. And this all because of basically an offensive foul to Fabio Vieira, not the other way around. Therefore, I was very, very happy, of course, all of us, that he later in the interview said that the moment he blew the whistle and indicated the free kick, he thought that there was maybe something wrong with his decision. And then he went to Gregoritsch, like you said, and asked him very, very well from him, very good solution from Dennis Aitekin. However, the coach from Augsburg was a bit complaining, not because what Gregoritsch did, but that Aitekin, the ref, went to Gregoritsch and brought the player in this situation to decide over the situation. I don't know. I think it was a natural thing, if you're not sure, then just admit it and ask. And but I can also kind of understand what the Augsburg coach says. In the end, I think that was the right way to solve it. If you are unsure as a ref, then just ask the players, and it's kind of natural, the player knows what happened. And so I liked the way it turned out. And I think maybe just a fun fact, Dennis Eitekin, also a very famous referee in Germany, one of the best in Germany. It was his last game in Volksparkstadion. Did you know that, Lennart?
I didn't know that, but I thought about the possibility because it's his last season. And
yeah.
But I'm not sure if he isn't the referee in the upcoming 3 games or in one of the upcoming 3 games.
No, he won't be. Was his last time in Volksparkstadion.
Okay, if this is already decided, then yeah, it's his last game. Or it was his last game in Hamburg, yeah. Or at least in our stadium, maybe he will be refereeing St. Pauli. But Philipp, I have one question for you regarding the game and the decision made by Dennis Eitekin, which confused all of us. We all thought there has to be something wrong with it, but maybe an information for our listeners. You are a referee yourself.
Oh yeah, it's now you're setting me under pressure.
So I hope you can teach me about this rule. You remember the scene where we got the penalty? I mean, it was overtaken, the decision, but where he decided to give us a penalty because of a possible
yes, I remember this kick on the arm.
So in the stadium, it was very clear to see that his first reaction was to give a corner. After 3, possibly 2 seconds, he decided no penalty, probably because his assistant gave him a good signal. Everything fine so far. Afterwards, we went to the screen. He decided not to give a penalty. Everything okay so far. Afterwards, we could all see it wasn't a handball. At least not something you can give a penalty for. So no critique on that one. But the game was followed by ball possession Augsburg from the goalkeeper, who didn't play the ball back to us. So I was kind of confused. First of all, that there wasn't a corner kick.
Yeah, me too.
Second, if probably because it was given penalty, I'm not sure, and this decision had to be given before the ball went into the out for the corner, then we would have possession, right?
I know what you mean. It was confusing me too. And I was just thinking, usually the referee has to continue the game where it was paused. You know, when you blow the whistle, you pause the game. And if the ball is still on the field and you can't see whose possession it would be afterwards, then you must continue the game with the ref ball, you know, with either team that would have received the ball or that was in possession the last time. So this first, you know, so
okay.
If he would have paused the game when the ball was still in the game and on the pitch, then it would have been a ref ball. But when he paused the game after the ball went out of the pitch, and I did not see it on television and I don't remember it, was the ball already out of the game? Then it would have been a corner.
Definitely, because he signed first to the corner. So he wanted to give a corner kick. And even if not, we would need to be in possession.
I think they just forgot how the game ended and how they paused it. And I think it was just a mistake from the refs. Nevertheless, I might also be wrong because rules change. But I think in this point, it was just a fault from the referees.
Yeah. And just to clarify something, I mean, yeah, I think so as well that the corner would be the right decision. But Augsburg lost the ball directly afterwards, and we had a counter attack. So, I mean, we didn't score the goal afterwards, so we don't know what would have happened after a corner. But we got an attack out of this decision. So it wasn't the worst moment for us in that situation. But we didn't make profit out of it.
However, Lennart, I think this was it for the Augsburg game. Miro Mohan with the red card is just suspended for 1 game. So he will be available for the game against Werder Bremen.
Huge surprise for me, to be honest.
Surprising?
For me, yeah. Because as far as I remember, almost every correct red card, I mean complete red card, not the yellow 2 yellows is of course one game, but the really red card is almost every time at least 2 games if it is a correct decision. So I was surprised.
I know what you mean, but in the end, rumour slipped away, so he was not kicking the player by intention. He was slipping away a bit, and that's why I think maybe the reasoning behind this 1 game suspension. Good for us that he is available against Werder Bremen. Lennart, what happened during the week?
Yeah, I mean, we had our last episode right in the middle of the national break. So there are some games to cover. So let's start maybe with our players. Otto Stange, we mentioned him before. In his first game, he scored 1 goal and made 1 assist. In his second game, he scored 2 goals. So very successful national break for him. 4 scorer, 3 goals, 1 assist. And Philipp, in the upcoming 6 weeks, do you think he can make an impact for us, or will he not appear that much? What is your prediction?
I think he won't appear too much. I mean, maybe as a joker. I could also imagine if we are through, let's say, 1 or 2 games before the season ends and we have secured our spot in this first division next year, then I could imagine that he will be in the starting 11, maybe in Leverkusen then. But I think as long as it's tight, I think he will mostly have an impact as a joker. Or do you think something else?
I have the same opinion, yeah. But I would give him a chance, to be honest. I said it before on Saturday to some people. I would have started him against Augsburg, to be honest. But I believe you're probably right that he will only be a joker. Yeah, let's see if he can make an impact from the bench. What about our other players, Philipp? Do we have someone who has to be mentioned as well?
I think Otto Stange was probably the most successful player of our national players break. Maybe Ransford Königsdörfer did not play in the end against Germany.
Yeah, not even a minute, right?
Yeah, not even a minute. I think Vuskovic made a good game against Brazil. He played 82 minutes until he got substituted. And did you see this tackle against the Brazilian offensive player that Vuskovic made? Directly before he got substituted, he received a yellow card for it.
Okay. No, I didn't saw it.
Have a look. It's very funny. It was just a clear foul and it could have been a red card too.
Because it was so intense, or because he was just...
It was very intense, yeah, with no intention to get the ball. And have a look at it. But I think despite of that, not really a mentionable other thing from our other players. Or do you think something else despite of that?
No, I don't think so. Of course, some of them also made appearances, but nothing to be really mentionable or something huge.
There was a rumor, Lennart, during the international break in terms of our goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Heuer Fernandes.
You read about the rumor.
Yeah, he's linked to Bayern Munich. So as a new second goalkeeper, to be honest, in his position, I would probably do it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, you see HSV has a good second goalkeeper already, bought for a couple of millions, so they have the adjacent goalkeeper. And for him, it would be a great opportunity to just get some titles. You know, he could become German champion. He could also probably win the Champions League in the next couple of years. He could win cups. He could, just experience a complete different world of football. You know, it's
absolutely.
I would do it.
And he will probably earn a lot more money. Daniel Fernandes was almost his entire career a second league goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And to experience Champions League, like you said, win titles, earn a lot more money than in Hamburg. And this is his probably his last contract. Even if the contract go for another year in Hamburg, in case we secure the league, I don't think that our club will ask for a lot of money for him. If he wants to do it, Bayern Munich really wants him, they will find a solution. And like I said, in his position, I would do it. Yeah.
And I think no one would hold it against him.
Absolutely not.
He really is kind of a legend now for us. With him, we promoted back to first division. We will never forget him. Made a great season now, brilliant season. Maybe he will become goalkeeper of the season. He became goalkeeper of the first part of the season, so it's not too far away to assume that he might be a candidate for the goalkeeper of the entire season.
Mm.
And in the end, if this qualifies you to go to Bayern Munich, to the best club in Germany, at least sports-wise, then do it. Experience this different world of football. I mean, I would love to play Champions League in Hamburg with him, but it's very unlikely. And even if we play Champions League, it's completely different if you play Champions League with Bayern Munich. And even if you're just on the bench, I assume in the end, with a season of around 50 games, he will make his appearances and he will contribute to winning the titles, even if it's just 2 or 3 games, but he will contribute and he will have the chance to train with the best players in the world.
And you don't know what will happen. Maybe, probably Rubich will be the number one goalkeeper next season. But what happens if Rubich can't handle the pressure? If he plays really bad the moment he has to make the number one appearances? That wouldn't be the first case, that the goalkeeper can't handle the pressure. What happens if Rubich is injured for 2 months? Then he has a chance.
And I think the transfer would also make sense for Bayern, as they get a good goalkeeper on the line and also a very good goalkeeper on the foot. He's not only a goalkeeper on the line, he's very good on the line, but he's also very good in having the ball, and Bayern Munich has the ball very often. Let's see. I would be very happy for him if he would get this opportunity.
And maybe just another thing mentioned about the national break. One of our ex-players was very successful. Do you know which one I mean?
Of course. You mean Dennis Hadzikadunic, right?
To be honest, I was referring to Sergei Barbares.
Of course. Okay, also to Sergei Barbares. Okay, get it. Yes. But we nevertheless mean the same nation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very interesting how many Bundesliga players are in the Bosnia squad. Dzeko, Katic, of course, second division, let's say German players. Barbares, the coach, Hadzikadunic with a HSV history.
Tabakovic, who scored the goal.
Yeah, Gladbach. So very interesting. However, I was a bit sad,
Yeah, from your perspective, probably even more.
Yeah, I like Italy. I love the country. I will probably spend the next 2 to 3 years there. And to see this nation falling down, I mean, this is insane. They won the European Championship in 2021, and they now missed 3 World Cups in a row. I really think it's really sad. I know that many people are laughing and enjoy this failure, but no, I can't. I'm actually very sad.
Me too. I mean, I was happy for our ex-players and especially for Sergei Barbares. Therefore, I wasn't, sad about the result, but I mean, I'm sad what happens to this huge football nation. I mean, you have to imagine, at least if they make it to the next World Cup, it will be 16 years. 16 years between the last World Cup appearance from Italy, where they also got knocked out in the group stage. So it was a worse World Cup for them, or a bad World Cup. Worse isn't the right word because the next 3 ones they were missing entirely. So it's completely absurd. And right in the middle of this time, they win the European Championships.
Yeah, it's insane. Also interesting that Iraq qualified for the World Cup, and I love the World Cup. With these amazing nations taking part, and especially for this region, also Iraq. I'm very happy. Also, Iran is in the World Cup, and
I think Curacao is.
Curacao, sure, of course, but I'm currently thinking about the Near East.
Okay, yeah,
the region,
yeah.
who's currently experiencing war and the whole situation is just so bad, and the World Cup can bring at least a little bit of joy into the nations, and you can see that football unifies. And I mean, I just read it that in Iraq, this nation is deeply divided, and this World Cup victory, or World Cup victory, this victory in the qualifiers, and now participating in the World Cup brought so much joy to the country and really unified the divided people and groups. And it's just this power of football that is unbelievable. And that's why all of us love football, and it's why the World Cup is something that needs to be loved, you know? And yeah, now Iraq and all the other countries will play in the United States. I mean, let's not go into politics here, but nevertheless, this whole thing in the summer will be very interesting to watch. Of course, for football, but also apparently for political reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the political debates will go on for months. I mean, they are currently happening, and they will be happening in a month, in 2 months, and during the whole tournament probably as well. Hopefully, we can also talk about great games during this month in June and July, and not only about politics.
Yes, and Lennart, that brought me to an idea for the summer. I thought about having a special episode about our HSV players involved in the World Cup. You know, when we publish weekly or bi-weekly, we could always cover what has happened to HSV players participating in the World Cup.
Then let's hope that many HSV players will be participating in the World Cup.
Absolutely. But I mean, it will be at least Luka Vuskovic for sure. Miro Muheimer, I would now say 99%.
Yeah, at least he will be in the squad if he will be playing. Is another story. Maybe Daniel Heuer Fernandes. There are rumors that he will be nominated for Portugal. So yeah, let's see. Maybe Königsdörfer.
Yes,
as well.
New coach. Then for Ghana. We will see. Then we have a listener's question again this week.
Perfect. Then I'm very happy to hear it, and hopefully we can answer it.
Hello, Philipp. It's your old teacher, Mr. Kipka. First thing first, I never would have thought your English would improve so much, because without your neighbor at the time, you would probably have failed all your exams. But we talked a lot about football, and you were always one of my favorite pupils. As a die-hard red-white Essen fan, I watched the well-deserved derby win on Saturday. I'm pretty sure Essen will have a league match in Hamburg next season. What do you think? Will I be able to go for a walk in the Volkspark afterwards, or have it be on the Reeperbahn? I hope for an honest answer. I've got another question for you. In 2023, Hamburg played their last match in Hafen Street and won 3-4 in the first round of the Cup, completely undeservedly. How many players from that starting 11 are still playing for ESV today? A little tip. If you don't know, just ask the person sitting next to you, like you used to. Best regards, and only red one Essen. Kipka.
Yeah, Philipp. That's a question for you. Very provocative to say that we will play against Rot-Weiß Essen next season.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to point out. It's a question for both of us, because do you think that we will play against Rot-Weiß Essen next season?
No. And nothing against Rot-Weiß Essen, because I believe they will be promoted. I think they will be playing second Bundesliga next season, but we won't. I'm very confident that we will secure the league, and therefore we won't be playing Rot-Weiß Essen, at least not in a league match. Maybe in the DFB Pokal.
Maybe in the cup. You're right. So I was completely agree with this answer and would add nothing to it. I think exactly the same. They might be promoting next year, but we won't relegate. And the second part of the question, okay, let's recap a bit. So I think the goalkeeper was Heuer Fernandes, I'm pretty sure. Or was it the season where Matteo Raab was goalkeeper?
I think Matteo Raab played in that game.
Yeah? Okay, then let's say Matteo Raab. And I think that might be true, even if Daniel Heuer Fernandes was the starting keeper.
I mean, he was also the starting keeper, but wasn't it the season where we had second cup round in Bielefeld, and in that penalty shootout, Raab was our goalkeeper.
Yeah, could be true. Okay, then goalkeeper Matteo Raab.
Probably left back Miro Muheim.
Center backs won't be in Hamburg anymore.
No.
Right back, same here, or was Mikkel his right back?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then Jonas Meffert is gone.
Yeah.
Ludovic Reis is gone.
Laszlo Benes is gone. Bakriata is still there.
Exactly, he scored the goals. A
Bobby
left
Judge
wing,
is
who
still
was
there.
it there?
Maybe Dompe.
I don't think so.
No?
I think this was the year when we signed Jean-Luc Dompe, but I think it was a bit later. Yeah. Miro Muheim, Bakariata, and Robert Glatzel.
Yeah, like we discussed, maybe it depends if Raab or Fernandes was playing, but I think Raab was playing in the cup in that season.
So in total, it would be 3 players, but it's great to hear my former English teacher listening to our podcast. So thank you, Mr. Kipka. Greetings to Essen, and thanks a lot for your question. Then let's preview the game against Stuttgart.
Yeah.
You won't be there in Stuttgart, right?
No, I won't be there. The game is too late on Sunday for me to get a train back home. Therefore, I had to give up on that game, and this will be the last match I will be missing this season. The games after that, I will be in the stadium if nothing crucial happens to me, and therefore, yeah, I will be watching the game at home. But what about you, Philip? You will be in the stadium, right?
Yes, I will be there, and I will get a train back home, but I do also live a bit closer to Stuttgart than you do, so it's a bit easier for me to get there. So I will be there, looking forward. Great stadium. The last time we played there was during relegation matches, where we lost very well deserved, I think 3-0, which could have been even worse for us, to be honest. I remember Sehu Girassi also not scoring a penalty, so that was a game, I mean, just to forget. But the second leg in Hamburg was very, very nice. I remember the goal, Sonny Kittel. But that was my and our last time in Stuttgart, Lennart. You were there too, right? In Stuttgart?
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah, it was my first and my last game in Stuttgart, in the stadium so far. But yeah, hopefully we can make it next season to Stuttgart together.
Yes, I hope so. What did Stuttgart do last weekend? They lost against Dortmund. And did you see the game? It was maybe a bit unlucky because they played the better first half, from what I read, and then conceded the 2 goals very, very short before the game ended.
I mean, I didn't saw the game because we were still on our way back from Hamburg, back home. But what I've read was completely absurd. Stuttgart must have been the better team of the complete game. And I've read that Dortmund shot 2 times on goal. And that was the 2 goals. So the first time this made a shot on goal was in the injury time of the second half. In the 91st minute. This is the first goal. And the second shot on target 5 minutes afterwards is the second goal. Yeah, as a Stuttgart supporter, I don't know what you think after such a game. It reminded me of our game against Wolfsburg. I mean, at least Wolfsburg had a shot on target. In the regular time.
True. And I'm a bit afraid now that Stuttgart wants to make up for it against us. You know, it's always bad when you play against a team that has lost so bad the game before. And so.
I know what you mean, but the same was said about Bayern Munich when they played in Hamburg. They lost the week before, or they played a draw, and everyone said, "Oh no, next time against Hamburg, this will be a complete disaster." And yeah, you got a point. So let's see about that.
Yes, we will see. Nicola Rembeck will be back after his 1-game suspension due to his second yellow card suspension. What do you think, Lennart? What's your prediction?
Yeah, very difficult game. Stuttgart, very strong team. But I go for 1-1.
Okay, goal scorer?
For Stuttgart, I go with Dennis Udaf, and for us, let's say Brentford Königsdörfer.
Okay, I say we will win 1-0, and the goal scorer is Fabio Vieira with a penalty. Let's see. So we must defend like a wall in Stuttgart, but Dortmund showed that it's possible. So let's hope for the best. And we have good memories on our first leg in, I think it was November or October. Amazing counterattack in the last minute.
Yeah, and goal scorer, Fabio Vieira.
Exactly. Yes. So let's hope for the best. And I think, Lennart,
that will be all for today. Let's conclude it. Nice to be here with you again, Philipp. I wish you a great weekend and hopefully 3 points in Stuttgart. And we will hear each other next Monday, as usual.
Exactly, Lennart. Have a great weekend and hear you on Monday again.
Thank you, Philipp. Bye.
Bye-bye.